Hello, my name is Matt McCarron, and I am doing my speech on how the NFL game has changed over the last 20-30 years. The NFL now is a very, very violent sport. Not that it was not 30 years ago, but with all the players consistently getting bigger, stronger, and better, and the ability to watch more and more and more footage of past games. Obviously the technology is better for them to have the ability to do that. It's making it even more violent. First off, the size of the players now compared to 30 years ago, they're just bigger across the board. That's every position, from your offensive line, your quarterback, your defense, you name it. Offensive lines 30 years ago, your average height was probably 6'1", 6'2". Whereas now it's more like 6'4", and then the weight back then you're looking at 270, maybe 280 pounds, or nowadays it's right around 320 pounds. That's just for your offensive line though. Now even your wide receivers, cornerback, secondary, those of you that don't watch football, it's kind of the outside people usually, and the people more in the back, they're just getting stronger and faster. And what's scary about that though is it's only going to make those collisions that much more violent. That's what's leading to all these concussions and injuries and everything that happens to these people. And it's almost disturbing at times. They also are getting better training, which is including better supplements. Obviously some people do cheat a lot more than we even know. I have nothing against that personally, but we all have our own opinions about that. But as far as the supplements though, it's only going to help them. They didn't have that 30 years ago. People obviously learn over the years so many different ways to train, work out, which quote unquote gets you bigger, faster, and stronger. Rule changes are a big thing that's been going on. Over the years, there's been some big ones. Probably 8-9 years ago, they added what's called a two-point conversion. After you score a touchdown, which gives you 6 points, you normally would just kick an extra point, which is kicking the ball with your foot through the uprights, and you get 1 point for it. Nowadays, like I said about 8 years ago, so nowadays, you can go for a two-point conversion. This, you actually have to snap the ball how you would in the normal offense to the quarterback and go for two. You know, the best thing about that though is the college actually had this prior to the NFL having this. So it was frustrating to watch college football and have a team be down possibly by 8 points, get a touchdown, and know that they have a chance to tie it up. Whereas the NFL prior to this 8 years ago did not have that luxury. You know, if you're down 8 points, you gotta, you know, you at best can get 7 points. And it was frustrating. So I'm glad they did add that, and that was a huge one. Another big change was, you know, just they're cutting back on a lot of the certain ways you can make contact with players, which also leads in and goes back to how everybody's getting bigger, faster, and stronger. You know, everybody's getting so much bigger, faster, and stronger is what's leading me to why they pretty much did this. An example would be like a no helmet to helmet, you know. If I'm out there and a guy's catching a ball going deep and I lunge at him with my helmet into his helmet, it's just completely illegal. That's what's causing all these concussions, you know. Back in the day, perfectly legal. You know, people would be doing that all the time though. There were guys playing defense that were in the secondary, you know, further back, that would just sit there and pray for moments like this so they could just get people hurt. Not that they really wanted to get them hurt, but they had fun doing it. It was like their warning sign to, you know what, don't come in my area, or I'm going to do this though. But that was a big one though. Other things they're doing though are just simply, if you catapult yourself into people, you're not allowed to do that anymore though. They're just really trying to clean the game up. I'm not saying I agree with it completely, but it is making it safer, especially with everybody becoming such freak athletes anymore. Can you blame them? There's so many cameras out there now, and with all the cameras and the social media becoming the way it is, everybody's face is everywhere. Any little thing you do, any little thing you don't do, people are going to hear about it. For better or for worse, it's almost out of your hands to even control. The nice thing about all the cameras, though, is when you're going back and watching past game footage, studying for upcoming games, stuff like that, it's great. You know, you can sit there with your team, your coaches, assistant coaches, watch and go over everything. You know, you can really prepare yourself and learn for the upcoming games, who you're going to play, what they're going to do, what their favorite things to do are, stuff like that. You know, the downfall is anything you do that you don't want people to see, possibly going to the social media thing, is going to be out there, and they're going to see it, and it's going to be frustrating because there's nothing you can do about it at all, and they're going to say and do what they want about it, and it's completely out of your hands. You know, going back 30 years ago, they had the luxury of having nothing really more than what you're going to see on your tube TV, if you even had one of them, you know. And all those mistakes, all the things they would do even off the field would go under the radar, you know. Now, even stuff they do off the field, you know, everybody's got a smartphone now. Everybody's got a camera. That little bit of a slip that you do, and it could just wreck your career. And I'm sad to say it, but it's the truth anymore. Back to what I was mentioning earlier with people and their supplements, you know, that's kind of a weird, touchy subject, though. I don't really know how I feel about that, how thoroughly they test. Better yet, even if it bugs me, if they do test and someone were to fail. I can't say I blame them, though. You know, just in comparison with the cheating of supplements compared to like a home run race between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa back in the day. Turns out they were both juiced, taking growing, you know, human growth hormones during that whole race. But you know what? It was exciting, and it was some of the best baseball I ever watched my entire life. Again, that's a subject that is very touchy for some people, and you know, I don't know if it's good or bad. I just know there's a lot more of them out there than there were 30 years ago. I don't know. I hope y'all know more about football after listening to my speech. And I thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.